Hi, Dave from Buzzy here. We just released a new demo file to the Figma community, and this one shows you how to use a custom code component, or we call it a HTML field in Buzzy. It lets you put your own HTML or custom code into your Buzzy app straight from Figma, and you can do some cool stuff with that. So this demo file shows a couple of charts. So the first one's just a static chart, which is sourced from chartjs.org. So that's just static code. You can do what you want inside Buzzy there. Now the interesting one is this one. So this is also a Chart.js chart, but it's hooked up to a Buzzy micro app. So this is real live data, and I can edit it on the fly. As I blur these fields, you'll see this chart update. There it goes. So that's a working custom code widget that we've added to a Buzzy app straight from Figma. So we've released this file to the community, so let's go have a look at how it was done. Jump over to Figma. So it's available, search for Buzzy in the Figma community, you'll see we've got a whole bunch of these files, and this is the HTML and custom code one. So when you click on that, duplicate it, and it will copy this file to your drafts. I've already got one sitting here ready to go. So this is the file you'll see. There's a page with the cover in it and some useful links. Now the actual app is here, and this one needs a bit of setup work to get working, because you obviously need to add some custom code using the plugin when you publish. So let's have a look at that. Now, a word of warning, you really need to have gone through the getting started guides and stuff to understand how this file is put together. You can copy these steps as you wish and it'll work, but to get an understanding, if you want to copy this and do your own stuff with it, it helps to have an understanding. So this is a single screen app basically. Zoom in. It's responsive as well. It's got a footer. This thing will resize for desktop and mobile and so on using standard Buzzy layout stuff, again straight from Figma. The content is here, and we've got a radar chart and a line chart one. We'll probably be adding more examples to this exact file and just updating the file in the community as we go. But the way this file is put together, for instance, there's our line chart container, so it's got a placeholder which does a check for whether the content actually exists and so on. So you need to understand how Buzzy works in that context before you start pulling this file apart. But having said that, right, to get this working, there's a set of instructions here. So step one is obviously get the plugin and run the plugin. If you haven't ever done that before, there's instructions on how to do that over here. So the first thing we want to do, we'll zoom in, is we want to publish this file, because we need to get these containers to exist before we can actually put our custom code in there. So it's a chicken and egg scenario. So step one, we'll run the plugin, Buzzy plugin. Now, when you first copy this file, you'll see it's already marked up because I've selected a layer. You'll see as you select things, you'll see their markup. This is the Buzzy markup, so it's a wrapper which contains a micro, or which references a micro app called line chart 1 and so on. So first things first, we need to just hit publish basically. We'll go over here, we'll leave the name as is, and we'll just click convert to new Buzzy app. First time you do this, because this file has never had the plugin run on it before, I just copied it straight off the community there. So you click the share, copy the link, paste it in here. Now this just gives Buzzy permission to access this Figma file and pull out the bits it needs to pull out. There it goes, it's now publishing. We'll let that run. I can close that modal. There it goes, so that's been published. Now, we can go have a look if we want, but we'll click that. So this is our new file we've just created. I'll close the old demo one that we had from before. There it goes, and there we are. So we've got the file, but these bits are now empty. I've got buttons here to add the charts. Don't do those yet. We'll set them up before we add them. So we'll just jump back into Figma. So here we are. Step 2, set up the radar chart. So it says go to the data tab, which is up here. Open the radar chart widget here, click radar chart, that's our field. There it is, it's been published, so we've got access to this advanced settings button. So we'll go into advanced settings, and that shows us the field settings. And we need to make sure that we set this up the following way. We want this to be wrapped in an iframe so code doesn't get stripped. We'll make it 1 by 1 in terms of dimensions, and the connection mode will make it static. So that's that. Then we need to edit the markup. So we'll click edit, and this gives us like a code edit window. And what we want to do is, this is the example code. So I'll just select it all, paste it into here. There it is, and click update and close. Now, that's that. So now if we go back to the browser preview and click add chart, get a refresh, there it is. So that code that I just pasted into that code editor, that's this. So there we go, we've got a Buzzy file, which, as I mentioned, is responsive, so that'll resize on mobile and so on, and we've now inserted a custom chart. Now let's go do the more interesting one, which is the line chart. So go and zoom out. So this is the line chart placeholder over here. And the instructions are basically the same. We'll go to the data tab, we'll open this. There's the line chart micro app, has got a bunch of fields like months with revenue numbers in them, and then the actual line chart HTML field. Click on that, click on advanced settings. This one, again, we want to make it wrap in an iframe so we don't strip the code. Dimensions are 16 by 9 for this one. Connection mode is static, and we'll edit the markup. Come back over to our help file over here, or little instruction panel, copy that code and paste it in here, update and close. Because these are referring to micro apps that now exist on the live site, that these changes are immediate. So I don't need to republish the app because I'm editing the actual Buzzy CMS directly through these little windows here. So we'll jump back into our preview window. So that field is set up. If I add the line chart now, there it goes. That's created an instance of it for us. And here we go. It's got no values in there yet, but these inputs in my Figma file are hooked up directly to that line chart micro app, which contains that code window that we just pasted this chart code into, and 6 fields, January through June, and then we can paste some numbers in, 1, 2, oops, sorry, this is just doing a refresh on me, 3, so this is now updating as we go, and I'll make it, I might jump to 5, back to 2, and 1, and we get, there we go, it's taking a bit to update, but there we go. So that's live data interacting with some custom code that we added straight from Figma. We didn't have to leave Figma, and we have a functional little micro app here. So go have an explore, pull the file apart, see what you can come up with. Thanks for watching.